Being a successful person seems to be the reason that drives many people to act, to stand out, and to give their best in what they do. We look at our idols with admiration, but also with envy, try to draw inspiration from them to live a full life. But what is success really? Power? Wealth? Happiness? Is there an objective and exact definition of it? Let's dive into it. If we gather a group of people and ask them to write their own definition of success, we would end up with completely different answers. We might find similarities if they belong to the same culture or were raised and educated in similar environments, but in general we will get different replies. Moreover, it would be difficult to find an exact definition that everyone would agree on. If we also consider the variety of cultures, traditions present in the world, the complexity of finding agreement would be enormous. We often reduce and simplify the idea of success to 3 points: wealth, fame, or power. If a person holds an important government position, we immediately associate that individual with the pinnacle of success. If we see a VIP on a yacht, we automatically take all those evidences as keywords to define success, and erroneously we associate them with ourselves. Additionally, having all this is not enough for us. We are not content with wanting it just for ourselves, but want to show it to others to compare ourselves with them. We feel the need to know what others think of us. We seek social approval and comparison. We are satisfied if others praise us, depressed if they do not. Fame becomes the yardstick for evaluating whether we have made it in life without reflecting on why we need this. Social approval is a distinctive characteristic that we carry from evolution, which has allowed us to live together and form societies. Being accepted into a tribe and receiving the esteem of others often makes the difference between living or dying. Those who were left out had to protect themselves, procure food of their own, and, among other things, had little chance of procreating. From this context, we have moved to our days where obviously living conditions are completely different. And in most cases, we do not need to worry too much about our safety or finding food, for example. This ancient software of ours, in a new context, combined with the circulation of information, pushes us to create a superstructure to the very concept of success, deluding ourselves that there is an objective and universal definition. For example, having a lot of money in the bank, being able to afford everything, and being able to buy any object or services that we desire is seen as the highest step of arrival, with the belief that complete and absolute happiness has been achieved. The problem is that in this simplification, several concepts are being confused, particularly the concept of freedom with that of possession. We do everything to accumulate goods, to increase our wealth, in a kind of competition with others that we can never really win. The more we have, the more we want. We never really have enough, driven by the idea that possession has in itself the possibility of making us happier people. We rarely take the time to reflect on the subject, because if we did, we would discover a lot about ourselves, how we see others and the world. In particular, we would identify a peculiarity of success, its relativity and, above all, subjectivity. It's a pure personal thing, and by misunderstanding this aspect, we fell into the temptation of borrowing the definition from someone else, or we assign it some necessary important relationship with materiality. We are obsessed with borrowing the concept of success from someone else, often directing our entire lives toward this. Of course, we should avoid adopting someone else's definition, no matter how beautiful and attractive it might be. We certainly do not want to live fighting to realize someone else's dream. Sure, there may be some similarities between different dreams, but the decision of which dream to follow must come from ourselves. And if it's similar to someone else, it doesn't matter, it can happen. The fundamental thing is that the path we decide to take comes first from us. Obviously, it's easier to borrow ideas and definitions from someone else. Our mind is programmed to save energy, to find shortcuts. Reflecting and thinking costs us energy and is often painful. So we take the easier path, adopt someone else's success, and spend our entire lives achieving it, discovering that most likely it leads us nowhere, does not bring us happiness and no real motivation to live. Often this attitude blinds us, keeps us busy to avoid having that minute of freedom that would give our mind the opportunity to reflect and question everything we do. Fear would assail us, knowing that we have built an house of cards without foundation. We avoiding giving ourselves a break and being truly free. We become slaves, not of ourselves, but of those who lent us the idea of success. To create an analogy is like being a car, but not in the driver's seat, but in the passenger seat. On one end, it's nice and easy to be transported. On the other, we are not the ones giving the direction of where to go. We cannot decide what our direction is if we do not get into the driver's seat and reflect on where we want to go. That said, we understand that asking the question of what success is should have only one person allowed to give an answer: ourselves. Success cannot be objectivized. We cannot have a perfect logical and mathematical definition of it. It would not make sense. Living with our own definition of success is the way to be happy. We fail when others tell us what success should be for us. We must look within ourselves to understand what success means to us. And it does not matter if our definition changes over time. It's a personal thing. Today we are different from what we were yesterday. We have new information, different experiences, a different point of view. It's a continuous discovery, enjoying the freedom that this causes. It is the incessant search for understanding ourselves, what motivates us, what makes us happy, and makes us reflect on why we are here in this world, in this context in which we live. The personal effort to avoid prepackaged answers is burdensome, because it leads us to ask ourselves what we want from life and what our purpose is. We want to have an happy family, the job of our dreams. We want to invent something that revolutionizes the way people live or cure a rare disease. We want to help people less fortunate than us or go into space. These are all legitimate questions that led us to fight to achieve what success means to us. Probably, once achieved, we realize that it does not bring the satisfaction we wanted. Or we stop halfway because we realize it's not worth it. Or we are simply tired. And it does not mean that we have wasted our lives or that we are failures. We should not resort to judgments and metrics that do not come from ourselves, from our inner consideration. Let's take back our lives. Let's give ourselves the definition that can guide us. And if we make mistakes, well, we have learned something. Deluding ourselves that borrowing a definition will not let us to make mistakes is an erroneous assumption, as the very concept of being right has no value if you do not know the reference standard. True freedom is precisely this, and if we adopt it, we will truly be successful people. If you enjoyed this video, put a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below and tell me what is your definition of success. And if you want to support the channel, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter. Thank you for watching. and see you next time.